and welcome to Regeneration Realized. In this video, I will explain what water infiltration test is, why it's important, and how to do it.
Water infiltration is a measure of how quickly water penetrates the soil and is a crucial part of the small water cycle. As you can well imagine, this plays a huge role in plant growth, nutrient availability, and overall ecosystem health. This can also play a role with the soil microbes, as they too require moisture to survive. Assessing water infiltration gives us a valuable insight into the effectiveness of precipitation in our systems and rain's ability to get into the soil. Tight, compacted soils make infiltration difficult and will not hold moisture. Water will tend to pond on top of these soils or run off, leaving little moisture for your plants. Water infiltration is a simple monitoring that can be easily performed in multiple locations and throughout the growing season to give a better understanding of what may be going on and what impact your actions may be having. For example, measuring infiltration in a tractor track and comparing it to infiltration in the less traveled parts of the field can be very insightful.
For this monitoring exercise, you'll need a 6 by 6 inch diameter and 6-inch high ring. You'll need a timer to find out how long the water takes to infiltrate the soil. You will need 450 milliliters of water, which represents 1 inch of rainfall, a plastic sheet, garbage bag, just so you're not pounding the earth, so you have an accurate test, a trowel or shovel to dig up your ring afterward, a piece of wood, 2x4, something of that nature to drive the ring into the soil. You may need a ruler in case you need to find out how much water is left, a hammer to do the job, and a pen and a paper or data sheet.
Select the site you would like to test. If this is part of the RU monitoring protocol, select locations near subsampling sites 3, 6, and 9, taking care that the rings are in places representative of soil conditions in the area. Feel free to place the ring between crop rows to minimize disturbance to plants. With your knife, cut away any plant material that interferes with placement of the ring. Next, place your scrap 2x4 on top of the ring and drive down evenly 3 inches, taking care not to wobble the ring. In very dry soil, you may witness the soil jumping as you pound in the ring. Ideally, we want to avoid this, as it's disturbing the soil and can impact results. If avoidance isn't possible, make sure to take note of this and try to come back and repeat the monitoring when the soil isn't so dry. For example, several days after a ring. Take a picture of the location and, if possible, have the GPS turned on so that you can return to the exact site in the future to determine changes that occur over time. On your paper, note the field you're working in and note the location of the test.
So to begin this process, we begin by lining our cylinder. And the purpose is that we don't want to pound the earth, we want to have an accurate idea of what's going on and how well that soil can infiltrate water. We'll take our 450 milliliters of water and pour it in. With our timer on the ready, we just need to pull this out. And when we pull it out, start our timer and wait and see what happens. While this process is going on, it's a great time to observe what's happening in that infiltration ring. Do you see bubbles? Is there bubbles like air exchanging with that water as it's going into the soil? Is it still? Are there bugs or other insects getting out of the way of that water? Do you see silt on top? What other observations can you make to see what's going on as that water is infiltrating the soil? So once here at RU, what we are using as a benchmark is when we hit 15 minutes, what we'll do is we'll just measure what's left of the water, record that we stopped at 15 minutes, and record what's left. And that'll be our benchmark. So the final step, you've written down your time, and it's time to pull that ring out. So take your shovel or whatever device you're using and carefully get the ring out. This is a good opportunity, once you have this ring out, to see other observations. Did it penetrate? Especially if you've used your ruler and it didn't penetrate fully all of the water. You can now examine the situation. So this is a good time. Like, we can see here that it actually did not penetrate the 3 inches. It did in some spots, but down here is dry. So what can we observe from that? We can observe that infiltration did not happen down to 3 inches. Otherwise, we can check to see what kind of texture are we experiencing. Do we have that browny texture? Have it more sponge-like? Or is it more spongy or like jello, muddy? These are all good observations you can make, and don't be afraid to test in many areas. This is a great opportunity to test water infiltration at any different places where you're wondering what might be going on with your field. So